Joining us on the program now from Athletes in Action, John O'Donnell. Kia ora, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. The under-85s team. Now that's quite the phenomenon, actually. How did this come about?
Yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Under 85 kilos.
Ah, okay.
So they're quite a light team. I think they may have some nicknames like.
You see, I took the wrong end of the stick because it's under 20s as an age thing, but under 85s is a kilos thing. So it's just all the lightweights.
They've got some names like the small blacks or the light blacks.
I see.
Let me tell you about it, eh?
Can I just say you've dashed my hopes, because I thought, well, I'm under 85 in terms of age, but I don't think I've been under 85 kilos since my teens, mate. So, so I shouldn't even try out for the team. Okay, now we've got it. It's not an age thing; it's a weight thing. They're still doing very well internationally, right?
Yeah. So the under 85 kilo competition in New Zealand has been around for 25 odd years.
Yep.
But in 2020, they introduced a national club competition, which is really exciting. Clubs from all over New Zealand compete you have your regular club season, then they compete in a knockout tournament to find out who's best.
Yep.
And I believe this year, for the first time, they put together a national under 85s team. Graham Henry's been a big proponent of this grade for a long time. I think it's that real inclusivity where anyone can give it a go. And if you ever find yourself down at a club rugby ground watching under 85s, it's fascinating.
Yep.
The props, the locks, the number 8, the halfback, the wingers, they're all the same size.
Wow.
Some of them are faster, some are lanky and tall, but everyone, they weigh in for every game.
Wow.
And this New Zealand team, they just toured Sri Lanka and they played the Sri Lankan Tuskers, which is their national team. And the Tuskers actually won the Asian Rugby Division 1 title last year, so not a bad team.
Yeah.
And how many people you think came along to watch these guys play?
Well, Sri Lanka, which I mean, it's a pretty good population, but I mean, rugby's not really their game, is it? So no. I don't know. There'd be more empty seats in the stadium than full ones, I would guess.
25,000 people at each game.
Wow.
Absolutely sold out. 30-degree heat. What a spectacle. Imagine these guys, under 85 kilo, they've just made this representative team. They get to go to Sri Lanka and the people show up.
That's super fantastic. And sorry I got the wrong end of the stick on this one. It all makes more sense to me now. But I just thought Graham Henry's involved. Well, he's an old guy, so maybe it's the old guys. But anyway, now the Tuskers that they played against, were they all little guys as well? Were they all under 85? Do we know, or were they just the national team?
It was just their national team. I believe most of them were under 85 kilos because they're a bit smaller. But in saying that, I worked with a guy for a number of years at AUT who played on the Malaysian national team, and he would have been 110 kilos. He was a big guy. So I probably need to watch a little bit of the footage. I saw the results. That we won both games. It was a 2-game series. The first game was 50-10, and the second game 32-6. So kind of a bit one-sided, but exciting for the New Zealand boys to get over there, and huge crowds turn out. It's fun. I love to see.
And as you say, this idea of inclusion, of saying, you know what, I mean, and hey, they're playing at an international standard. It's not sort of a participatory medal. It's not even Masters Games, which is what I had it tagged for. These are guys playing their sport at an international level, all heart and soul. And getting good results, but I mean, just because of their genetics, wouldn't have the bulk to represent New Zealand at a regular rugby match.
Yeah, your average player playing even club rugby is going to be around 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Let alone when you start to watch an NPC game or a Super Rugby game, these guys are just specimens, and they've been in the gym for a long time.
Yeah.
These under 85 guys, they're still good condition, but maybe they're more trying to trim down.
Yeah, they get and watch their weight. No avocado on toast on the weekend for these boys.
Nope.
Exactly. Hey, talking about another championship, and hey, maybe there's hope on the horizon for New Zealand rugby with this one, the under 20s. Now, let's get this right. When we say under 20s, it's not under 20 kilograms. We're back to chronological age on this one, aren't we?
Yeah, the New Zealand under 20s, they've just finished the rugby championship in South Africa. So rugby championship, that's Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Argentina. And the under-20s comp it mirrors a little bit of the All Blacks, the one that they play in.
Yeah.
And some exciting, free-flowing, fast rugby. I'll run you through the scores. So we played Australia in the first game. We were up big, but they came back 29 all draw.
Yeah.
Second game, we played Argentina, and that was 75-21.
Wow.
And in the last game, I think we had to win against South Africa because Australia was putting the pressure on. And we beat South Africa 45-48.
Wow.
So just beat them by 3 points,
Yeah.
high scoring. And that gave us the win over Australia by, I think, a bonus point was maybe the only difference.
I mean, very, very close indeed. But hey, we'll take that as a win, and bodes very well for the next generation of All Blacks.
Yeah, absolutely. The under-20s New Zealand, or the under-20s All Blacks, they're often, it's a pipeline really.
Yeah.
And a number of those players will go on to make the All Blacks. So I remember in 2014, I went to the Albany Stadium because New Zealand was hosting this competition, and I got to watch New Zealand play Samoa.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things I remember. One, we won quite easily.
Yeah.
Secondly, there was this small blonde-headed guy at fullback, and he was just running through everyone. And I remember his name. It was Damian McKenzie.
Okay.
So we know how much of an influential player he is now for the All Blacks and the Chiefs. But it's fun to witness these guys at the younger grades and think, it's not long, and some of these guys are going to be in the All Blacks representing New Zealand on the top level.
Yeah. And
often there's a correlation between when the under-20s team does well, a few years later the All Blacks are doing well.
Especially if this is a team that plays together, and a number of this team that have got that work well together advance through to Super Rugby and the All Blacks. Just that team cohesion, an important part of that as well. Yeah,
absolutely. One there's an athlete that we've been journeying with Athletes in Action down in Christchurch as a guy there's working with a number of rugby players. And I thought I'd just run you through, because he made this team, and so that's why we've been particularly clued in on it.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a peek behind the curtain for him. So this athlete, a few years back, his goal was to make prems, and that year he got to start the whole season.
Okay.
He then went on to make the under-19 Canterbury team, played well for them, got forward of the year, got picked up by the Canterbury Academy. Later on, made the under-20s Crusaders team, all while in the background trying to study a little bit and get a degree. But the nature of making these teams is you often have to drop papers and chop and change a bit. And so he made this under-20s New Zealand team on quite short notice, and got to travel to South Africa for a couple of weeks. And then later, at the end of June, hopefully we'll be a part of the World Cup team. And so just important, as I think about our work, walking alongside athletes and supporting them, the ups and downs of making teams, not making teams, playing well, dropping papers, studying them, and maintaining a faith journey throughout the challenges of all of that. So just particularly highlighted through this, and also just fun to celebrate that team doing well. Yeah,
no, it is fantastic, but great look behind the scenes there, because actually you think, oh, well, they're doing well at sport, but actually I suppose you've got to keep a second option, really, haven't you? You don't want to go, hey, all of the eggs in this basket, I'm going to be a professional sports person, I'm going to drop out of university because this is my priority now. Tough call to make if you don't make the next team.
Yeah, absolutely. And at what level are you going to start getting paid? Some particular challenges for our aspiring athletes. What I'm encouraged with, one as a rugby fan, is that, man, there's some cool and exciting rugby teams that are coming through, whether it be the under-20s or the under-85s.
Yeah,
I think New Zealand rugby's flexing a little bit, adapting. And there seem to be, although there's a lot of common thought that rugby maybe is dying, or not many people are playing anymore because of the fear of concussion, which is that's relevant.
That's
to be
real.
honest.
Yep.
But still seeing lots of players come through and excited about it, and a really quality brand of rugby that we're putting on the field, whether that be at Super Rugby or NPC level. yeah, I'm excited by it.
Yeah, and as you say, good vibes for what's coming next for the next generation of rugby in New Zealand. Just briefly, John, I wanted to touch in on the Warriors over the weekend and perhaps a bit of a comparison with what's happening with the under-20s. It was an only just, and it was a bit last minute, and it was typical Warriors dominating for the first part of the game, but then all tied off, and yeah, in the last few moments of the game, managed to squeak through with a win. I mean, yep, they're continuing to win, but only just. I suppose my question for you, the importance of learning while you're winning, of not going, well, we just keep winning, so we'll just keep doing what we're doing, rather than saying, well, we only just made it through. What can we learn from what has happened to perhaps lock in more wins for the future?
Yeah, that was a bit of a crazy game that Warriors won, just squeezing by one. And in some ways, you might say a championship team, they win the close ones. You know, they close that game out, they win by 1 point. Last week, they hold on for the last 15 minutes and salvage the win. But you don't really want to make a habit of that. You want to show that grit and that determination and that that will to win in those moments. But I think we do need to grow. We need to be growing through the wins, what we're learning, and not become complacent. We won that one, we'll just go on to the next one.
Yeah. I suppose that view that says, hey, if we're not winning, then we've got something to learn. But if we are winning, of course, we've got nothing to learn. Perhaps that has led New Zealand rugby to the space that we're in now, where it's like, well, we're not winning as much as we used to. Perhaps we need to rebuild from the ground up.
Yeah, that could be a good shot at it. Maybe the under-20s. Maybe that's where that growth is going to come from.
John, I appreciate what you do at Athletes in Action. Encourage people to find out more, athletesinaction.org.nz. Kia ora, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.